Hi there. Today we look at three very, very different films in today's reviewed and ranked. What happens when a young basketball star who's also a pretty damn good author sneaks into a recluse's home who turns out to be a well known author? That's what you find out in Finding Forrester, which stars Rob Brown, some guy named Sean Connery, F. Murray Abraham, Anna Paquin, and from what I hear, they're making a TV show out of this. Or when Denzel Washington and Ron Reynolds have to both face off and at times work together in a very, very twisted tale of action, adventure, and spy intrigue in the spy thriller Safe House. And also, what happens when an all-star cast get together to what starts to become owing a bit of drug money to a sort of kidnapping and based on a true story. Nick Cassavetes' Alpha Dog definitely packs a punch. Welcome to Reviewed and Ranked. I am Aaron, and today we are reviewing and ranking three brand new Mill Creek Blu-ray releases. I will be able to I'm going to try and stay pretty spoiler free on all three of these. One of these really stood out to me, and it got to me in a way. It got to me in many ways. So in random order, let's talk first about Alpha Dog. Alpha Dog has quite the cast. We got Ben Foster, Sean Hattasey, Emile Hirsch, Sharon Stone, Justin Timberlake, Anton Yelchin, rest in peace, and Bruce Willis. So it has an incredible cast, and it's the Jesse James Hollywood story is what it is. So for those that don't know what that is, this is actually a true story in that Emile Hirsch plays this drug dealer who's owed money by Ben Foster's character played. I don't remember the names. I'm not good with names. Yeah, Johnny Truelove is Emile Hirsch's character. But basically, what he does in kind of the Ben Foster is kind of like he's on the edge. He's a meth addict, and he's a martial arts expert too. You see that in the film. But basically, what goes on is there's a clash between these two guys. Ben Foster owes him money. He can't pay it, and he goes all out. He breaks into Timmy Hirsch's house. He literally he defecates on his floor. Beats some stuff up. Emile Hirsch hides. I hope I get his name right. I've been pronouncing his name right. We'll say Johnny Truelove from now on, so I don't get it wrong. And he has a younger brother played by the late Anton Yelchin. So what happens is Johnny Truelove is extremely frustrated. He doesn't know what to do. He's got his friends. They're played by Justin Timberlake, who was a standout in this film. Oh, Amanda Seyfried, and is in this, as is Dominic Swain as well. This is loaded with people. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you get a small role by Alex Kingston, who plays Riverside in Doctor Who. Sean Hattasey has a small but integral role in this film. So basically, what they end up doing is they end up kidnapping Anton Yelchin, the kid, and rather than just a kidnapping where they kind of just tie him up and keep him in a room and call for for money or that type of thing. Basically, they take the kid with them, and he's pretty aimless. He's a young kid. He's 15 years old, and they're basically think of Larry Clark's Kids in a way, in that they're all there together. They don't really know what they're doing. So kidnapping him basically means he's at their parties. He does. He's got they got the bong. He got the bong out. They're having beer. Early on in the film, Justin Timberlake's character hints at, maybe you should I'll look the other way, and you can just grab the bus. I'll just say you got away. And he's like, no, it's okay. I don't want to cause trouble for my brother. But he has literally kind of the time of his life throughout these parties, and he meets these girls. One of them, whom is a young Amanda Seyfried, and he has an amazing time being kidnapped, but it takes a much much darker turn as it goes along. And if you know the story, you know where this is going. When Nick Cassavetes wrote this script and when he filmed it, the one of the principal people in the Jesse James Hollywood case wasn't caught. So they filmed it with a kind of more of an ambiguous ending. During post-production of the film, he was captured in I think some Paraguay, and they ended up going back and adding on, and then I guess the satisfying ending, so you actually know what's going on. It's a brutal. I'm not sure when I'm going to watch this again, but I will. But man, was it like, it has some great performances. Ben Foster is incredible in this. Mia Harris is great. What's her name? Olivia. It's not Olivia Munn. Is it Olivia? No, it's not. It's I'm totally blanking on her name right now. But she is like. I gotta look it up. I do, because she was incredible in her role in this movie. She only had like not the biggest part, but she's one of the most beautiful actresses in Hollywood. Like, definitely hands down. Other actors that are in this that I never mentioned: Harry Dean Stanton as a pretty cool role in this film right here. Olivia Wilde is there's I was saying Olivia Munn, Olivia Wilde. I'm watching all this E3 stuff this week, but Olivia Wilde's really good in this. Actually, if you're an Olivia Wilde fan, this is their first nude scene actually in Alpha Dog. This is the first time you're going to see Olivia Wilde in the Starkers in the nude. The wife of director Nick Cassavetes, Heather Walquist, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is actually in this as well. I think they're married or together anyway. Gorgeous lady, by the way. Small role, but it's an important role as well. Alpha Dog was an incredible watch. It put me through a roller coaster wave of emotions, and I will be going back to this again. I just don't know how quickly it's going to be. One crime, 38 witnesses. No way back. I had a lot of fun with Safe House too. It never really stuck with me the way that the other two titles I'm going to talk about are. Like, not that it's a bad film. Safe House is actually a pretty good film. You got Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds in this one here. I think what's her name? Vera Farmiga. Yeah, Vera Farmiga's in this one as well. It's got a great cast. It's got a fantastic cast. It's an action thriller, a spy film. Basically, it's about this guy named Weston, who has to babysit Frost, who was kind of wanted, because he's supposed to be like wanted for like corruption, like corrupt reasons, that type of stuff. But things, as always, it's a spy thriller, are not what these seem, and eventually we get to see exactly what happens in Safe House and how it turns out. And I actually liked this one a lot. I love the let's just say the conclusion is satisfying in Safe House, but I don't want to give too much away. It's a fun spy thriller with Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. If that's not enough to sell you on it, I don't know what's going to. But I enjoyed it. I didn't think it's kind of middle of the road when it comes to reviews. I think it's better than that, but I can understand if somebody was like, kind of like, it can be a bit complex and complicated, and sometimes it doesn't need to be, but the performances elevate it above what I would say the material initially does. Everybody's seen this next one, so how do you really talk about like finding Forrester? Rob Brown plays a young kid that breaks into Sean Connery's house, and Forrester is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. He's an author, but he's a recluse. He suffers from bad anxiety. He is because the kid leaves his backpack into Forrester's house. Forrester returns the backpack and actually looks at his writing on the inside, because he's actually, aside from being a basketball player, he's a very talented writer, and actually edits his writing and tells him, like, write a 5,000. I thought this was really cool, actually. Write a 5,000 word essay on why I should not break into my house. Brown goes off to college and stays in contact with Forrester. They become very good friends, and we've seen like this story done like other times, but this is extremely well done and probably one of the best of its type. I really like Sean Connery in this. There's some tear heartstring moments in Finding Forrester. I can kind of see why they're making a TV show to this, but I actually really enjoyed this film. And just go in, like, don't, like, yes, it is exactly what you think it's going to be. It's a young kid who basically gets looked at for being okay. He's a basketball talent, and but he has this, this gift, this writing gift. As somebody that writes, I truly enjoyed this film. I really, really did. Now the part that a lot of you guys wait for. You guys, or some of you guys, go to the end for because you want to see the rankings. So how are we going to rank these? I don't think this is going to be a hard one for you guys to figure out. If you think you can figure out the rankings, take time now for the ranking minute. That's a Beast Must Die joke, just for those that don't know. Okay, so although I enjoy all three of these films, I enjoyed them to different extents. One of these definitely is the clear winner, and it may not be what you think. So in third place, definitely a good film, good watch. Check it out. Watch the trailer first. Let's have this one. See if it's your bag. It is Safe House with Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. Really enjoyed this film. It can be a bit complex and complicated at times. Nothing that you're going to be like, oh my, how am I going to figure that out? No, nothing like that. But I did enjoy it. I guess something's got to be in third place, right? In second place, this is where it's going to be a little bit. This is going to be controversial. This is my hot take. It's Finding Forrester. I loved this movie. It tugged at my heartstrings. Everybody in this movie is fantastic, and they play their role picture perfectly. But Alpha Dog just did it. It balled up its fist and it punched me in the gut, and I was there for the ride. At the first few minutes of Alpha Dog, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be into it, to be bluntly honest with you. And I was like, I'm not quite sure on this film. But as things started to unravel and unwind, I got way more into these characters' lives and was more intrigued to where, and you get to a point where you know where this is going to go, but you spent so much time with these characters and you've invested so much into them that you're really, really hoping it doesn't go there. You're hoping against hope, even though you probably know the story and you know it's going to end. You just don't want it to go that way. So there you go.